Hello, and welcome to part 2 of my practicum experience. My name is Lauren Paragon, and I am happy to tell you about my time at the Edmonson County Physics Center during my practicum for LITE. In this part, I will be talking about our collaboration with the library media specialists and other English teachers during literacy night, and I'll also be talking to you about one of my collaborative lessons I did with the library media teacher. Our literacy night was planned in February, and it took a lot of prep work. About 2 weeks prior to literacy night, we met every Tuesday and Thursday to discuss the activities, the door prizes, all of the details that were going to go in behind the scenes to make this night possible. We had done this night. This was the third night that we had done in a row, 3 years in a row, and we decided the theme was going to be Dr. Seuss. On the actual night of literacy night, we had a wonderful showing. We had RSVP'd prior to the night, so we kind of had a rough estimate idea of how many students and parents were coming. We're a small school with just a little over 300 students, so we had 158 that RSVP'd, so we felt pretty proud about that. In the end, we ended up exceeding that number of RSVPs to 167, and I believe that had to do a lot with us promoting it at school through dress-up days and things of the sort. This was a wonderful activity for parent involvement. We had kids going on scavenger hunts. We had them doing mini research projects with their parents. We had them playing guessing games and just lots of fun activities, reading bingo, you name it. We had a lot of community support for this program. We had door prizes we were able to give away throughout the night. We gave them away every 30 minutes throughout the night. We had a guess how many goldfish crackers were in the Dr. Seuss fish bowl, and had a grand door prize winner later on. But we had community donations in the form of Barnes & Noble gift cards, board games. We had just pencils and notebooks and just a lot of good support from the community that we were able to add to those gift boxes. We also were able to receive free books from Half Price Books in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And we were able to, the kids, if they got their passport stamped in all the different areas, then they got to go to the library and pick a book. And anybody that got their passport, so whether it was a younger sibling, an older sibling, we had them some books they could pick from. So just another way to kind of encourage some reading through choice. This was our grand door prize winner. She walked home with board games and a gift card and a new book series. So lots of interesting things, and that all came from our PTO support. And they were wonderful throughout this process of allowing us and supporting us through this literacy night. On the Library Media Center standpoint, we also had our Scholastic Book Fair going on at the same time. We had it going on through the library classes throughout the week, and we had a big night that night where parents got to come in and shop with their kids, and I was able to help on that front. Miss Amanda run that book fair. It was quite fun, but still overwhelming. I'm definitely have not had much retail experience, so to get that many people checked out and through, and so the lines weren't very long, that was definitely an eye-opening experience to me. We had fun decorating our school throughout the week. We had a teacher door decorating contest. I've posted in this video the top 3 doors, so you see we had a Put Me in the Zoo from Miss Kara's FMD room. We had another theme of the places you'll go from Miss Nadina's 5th grade social studies room. She was actually our door winner. And the teachers had a lot of fun with this, and the teachers, they were going at it because what was up for stake is our principal allowed us to give an hour lunch break. So all the teachers were really excited about that. It doesn't take much to please us, so they were really pumped, and they really went all out and made their doors, they incorporated their children, they incorporated ideas from Dr. Seuss books. And as you see in this next slide, you're going to see our math teacher even incorporated what he was teaching in the class So he had some fun facts on his green eggs and ham door that said, try math and see if you like it, or something along those lines for green eggs and ham. So the teachers did a wonderful job supporting this day, and I think that reason was I think that was the reason why it really became a good effort, and we really had a lot of students come out with their parents, and it really supported our night. After the literacy night, we also had another program planned that week. It was definitely a busy week. Pastries with parents. So those students that couldn't come at night, their parents were able to come in, eat breakfast, and also shop the book fair. So those things really added an addition to our our sales, and it gave kids opportunities to shop with their parents. So we sold throughout the library classes during the day. We sold during literacy night at night, and we also had the morning for pastry. After research on many different blogs for educators, I came across what was called passion projects, and I just fell in love with the idea of students coming up with their own essential questions and learning about them through inquiry-based learning. So I went to my library media specialist that I was collaborating with, and I told her the premise of the project. And I said, is this something that you'd be able to help me with? So in my ELA classrooms, we designed essential questions. And it took a little bit of training to get the kids to think about how to design a question that doesn't have the simple yes or no answer. Something that you can go places with is how I described it with the kids. So something you can't just type into Google and come up with a yes, no answer. So after the students started getting their essential questions together, we met and had some one-on-one conversations where I helped narrow down some of them were great right on the bat. Some of them needed a little bit of help kind of getting there and modifying their topics. I never changed anybody's topic, just kind of helped them out with the wording a little bit. So after they met with me, they filled out a Google form where they filled out what their essential question was and their first name, where I was able to have a record of all their essential questions. And this, you see here, this was some of the essential questions that my students came up with, and that way I had a place where I could keep up with all of their own and where they would be taking their research projects. I got a little nervous in some sense that I was afraid that some of their questions may lead them down some rough routes, but they really impressed me. And in the end, I was really proud of the results and what we came up with as a class. The process started with this updated 21st century style KWL chart is what it used to be called. And it started with us asking the students, what is something you want to know? What do you already know about it? And how will you find out what you want to know? So this kind of started their guide. This started them down the path of inquiry-based research. Later, we came back and we added, what have you learned? What action will you take next? And what questions do you still have? The students wrote these things in a Google Doc in which we were able to collaborate back and forth with. This did become quite lengthy for me. I have 3 groups of students, so that roughly estimates about 78 students. So it got a little bit confusing on my part to collaborate. So that's definitely something I want to work with and try to streamline that a little better, especially if I become, a library media specialist. So when I can try to do this with a large amount of students. We began our research in the class after the students had a plan and they had a guide that was approved by me. So we have a mobile cart, so I was able to check those out, and we did this for a week and got through the researching. They set off to find their answers, but as you know with 5th graders, they want the easiest thing that's going to come to them. They want the first link on Google. They want to click on it. They want to find their answers. So before we could really get going into our research, we had to have a mini lesson on reliable and non-reliable sources. And this was, I think, the first time the students really had someone teach them what that even meant. They just thought if it was on the internet, it must be true. So this really opened my eyes that this is something that we need to start teaching, at a lot younger age, because that is their world. Their world is Google. Their world is instant, and their world is right at their fingertips. So they have to know how to distinguish between what somebody says is true and what is actually true. Next, they were asked to take their research and develop a project using, or their passion project using some sort of technology tool. We had used Prezi in the past. Animoto and Glogster were new to both of them. Some of them chose to use iMovie. Since the MacBooks are not as easily accessible, that wasn't where most people went, but they had their own choice of where to go. So here's an example of one of the Glogsters, and his essential question was, why is McDonald's so popular? So he came up with several different reasons. He said, first it's the Coke. It just tastes so good. And he found a reliable resource YouTube video that talks about 5 reasons why McDonald's Coke tastes so good. It tastes different. And I was learning all kinds of stuff. I thought that was quite interesting. He went on to the cost and the fries. He talked about the McDonald's Happy Meal toys. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing these projects come from that first day as talking about what is something that you've always wondered, what is something that, stumps you, that you'd like to know more about, from talking from that conversation to seeing them come alive. It was just fantastic. What you're going to see also on this page, I'm going to link some of my favorite passion projects that came out of this project, and also some more video and audio clips of these lessons taking place in the classroom. All in all, my experience has been extremely positive. I have learned more than I could have ever learned from a book by getting into a library, seeing what the role is actually like, accomplishing those tasks and watching those kids learn, and having also the unique opportunity being a teacher at the same time. I was able to really see the other side and the positive effects of collaboration. I was able to see how, through Miss Amanda helping with locating books for our students, and by them having that opportunity and that flex time to work on their projects, has been so beneficial for them. This has been such a wonderful time, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes me. I hope that you have enjoyed learning about my practicum experience. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me through the contact information on the About page on my homepage. And I hope that I can be a wonderful role model and a collaborative partner as a future library media specialist one day.